Last Thursday, just after dinner, I got a call from Clara, one of my longtime neighbors here in Michigan. Clara is 74 years old, still loves tending her small backyard garden, and always has a fresh pot of herbal tea on the stove. But lately, something's been bothering her. Every afternoon, my feet puff up like balloons, she told me. By 5 p.m., I have to take my sandals off. It feels like I'm walking with water bags attached to my ankles. Now, if you're over 60 and reading this, you might be nodding right now. Swollen legs and feet, especially later in the day, are incredibly common as we age. And most of the time, when it happens, we immediately think, is it my heart? My kidneys? My circulation? Maybe I'm just getting old. But here's the thing. Clara had already gone through the tests. Her heart? Fine. Kidneys? Normal. Liver? Working just as it should. So why was she still swelling up like this? That's when I told her something most doctors never mention. It might not be a disease. It might be something your body is missing. She paused. Missing like what? And that's what this video is all about. A hidden cause you've probably never considered. There's a group of vitamins and minerals your body needs every single day to manage fluid balance, support healthy blood sugar, and keep your nerves and muscles working properly. If you're missing just one of them, especially vitamin B1, your body can start to retain fluid, damage nerves, and send mixed signals to your legs and feet. And here's the tricky part. You can be eating a normal diet. You can pass every blood test at the doctor's office. You can even feel okay most of the time, but still be deficient in this key nutrient. That was the case for Clara, and it's something I see all the time in people over 60. So today, I'm going to walk you through the real reason why your legs and feet might be swelling, how high blood sugar and missing nutrients are connected, the number one vitamin that can help reduce swelling, restore energy, and protect your nerves, and the best foods to get it. No expensive supplements required. We'll also talk about the two other nutrients that work hand in hand with vitamin B1 to support healthy legs. But before we go any further, let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed that your feet swell more after eating sweets or starchy meals, like bread, pasta, or dessert? If you have, type the number 1 in the comments. I promise you, you're not alone, and your answer could help someone else realize they're not alone either. Let's start with a little-known connection between swelling and blood sugar, even if you don't have diabetes. When you eat a meal high in refined carbohydrates, like white bread, pasta, cookies, or sweetened drinks, your blood sugar rises quickly. Your body responds by releasing insulin, which helps move that sugar into your cells. But insulin does more than just handle sugar. It also causes your body to retain sodium, and where sodium goes, water follows. This is why people who eat a high-carb, low-nutrient diet often feel bloated, puffy, or swollen, especially in their lower legs. Now, if your body is missing key nutrients like vitamin B1, this problem gets even worse. Without enough B1, your cells struggle to turn sugar into energy, and the excess sugar starts to bind to proteins in your blood, a process called glycation. Glycation thickens your blood, damages tiny blood vessels in your legs and feet, and makes it harder for oxygen and nutrients to get where they need to go. Over time, this leads to fluid leakage from your capillaries and the classic symptoms: puffy ankles, tight skin around the feet, tingling or numbness, that heavy, dragging feeling in your legs. It's not always obvious. It doesn't happen overnight, but it creeps in quietly, especially as we get older. Howard, a retired bus driver I've known for years, told me he used to eat a slice of pie every evening after dinner. That was my treat, he said. But an hour later, I'd feel my socks tightening and my ankles puffing up. I thought it was just part of being 76. When I suggested that he cut back on sweets for a week and add more whole foods, like spinach, lentils, and sunflower seeds, he was skeptical. But within 5 days, he noticed a difference. My legs feel lighter, he said, and I didn't have to loosen my shoes today. Howard didn't change everything. He just made a few small swaps, and his body responded. The truth is, our bodies are always giving us signals. Sometimes we just need the right lens to understand what they're saying. In the next section, we'll take a deeper look at how blood sugar affects swelling, how vitamin B1 fits into that picture, and why most adults over 60 are deficient, even if they eat healthy. And we'll talk about what you can do, starting today, to turn things around. But first, let me ask you this. Have you ever been told that your blood sugar was a little high, but your doctor said it was nothing to worry about? If that's happened to you, or someone you care about, leave a quick comment below. Sometimes, a little high is just high enough to cause real symptoms, like swollen legs. Let's talk about what's really going on beneath the surface. Many people think that blood sugar is only a problem for those with diabetes. But the truth is, millions of older adults live in a state of mild, undiagnosed blood sugar imbalance, a state that silently affects their circulation, nerve health, and fluid retention. Let's talk about what's really happening. When you eat foods that break down quickly into glucose, like white bread, crackers, sugary cereals, or even rice, your blood sugar spikes. Your body responds by producing insulin, which helps shuttle that sugar into your cells. That's normal. But when these spikes happen too often, and your body becomes overwhelmed, several things begin to go wrong. One of the lesser-known effects of elevated insulin is that it causes your kidneys to hold on to sodium. And when sodium builds up in your tissues, your body pulls in water to dilute it. The result? Fluid retention, most noticeable in your lower legs and feet. But it doesn't stop there. High blood sugar also leads to a process called glycation, a chemical reaction where sugar molecules stick to proteins like hemoglobin in your blood. You might have heard of this in terms of A1C levels, a common test doctors use to monitor long-term blood sugar control. But glycation isn't just a number. It has real consequences. When proteins become glycated, they stiffen. Your blood vessels become less flexible. Tiny capillaries, especially those in your feet, toes, and lower legs, start to leak fluid into surrounding tissue because they're damaged and inflamed. Over time, this results in swelling, numbness, tingling, and even changes in skin color or texture. It's like a slow leak in a garden hose. At first, you don't see much. Then the ground gets damp. Then puddles form. Eventually, the hose stops working altogether. And here's what's scary. Many people are walking around with blood sugar levels that are just high enough to do damage, but not high enough to raise alarms during a standard checkup. That's why swelling in the legs and feet often goes untreated or misunderstood. Doctors may prescribe water pills or tell you to cut back on salt. But the root issue, the blood sugar and nutrient imbalance, is never addressed. I once spoke to a couple, Joe and Linda, both in their late 70s. Joe had been dealing with ankle swelling for years. His doctor told him his labs were mostly normal, but he still felt off. After keeping a simple food journal for 2 weeks, Joe realized that most of his meals were heavy in starches and very light in vegetables or protein. He swapped his morning toast and jelly for Greek yogurt with chia seeds and berries. At lunch, he added steamed greens instead of crackers. By the end of the first week, he said something I'll never forget. "My shoes fit better, and I didn't change anything else." It wasn't about dieting. It was about removing what was triggering the swelling and adding what his body had been missing. In the next section, we'll explore the 3 key nutrients that can help your body rebalance: vitamin B1, potassium, and magnesium. These nutrients not only support healthy circulation and fluid balance, but also protect your nerves and improve your ability to handle carbohydrates. You don't need to take expensive supplements. You just need to know what to eat, when, and why it works. We'll start with vitamin B1, the real star of the show. Let's talk about vitamin B1, also known as thiamine, a water-soluble vitamin that plays a critical role in how your body converts carbohydrates into energy. Most people associate B vitamins with general energy or metabolism. But thiamine does much more than that, especially when it comes to your nerves, blood vessels, and swelling. When your body is low in vitamin B1, it can't efficiently metabolize glucose. Instead of using sugar for clean energy, your cells start to malfunction. And as we mentioned earlier, that sugar begins to glycate your proteins, damage your capillaries, and impair your ability to circulate blood and fluid properly. This is why vitamin B1 deficiency often leads to swelling, numbness, tingling, and heaviness in the legs and feet. It can even progress to a condition called beriberi, which literally means I can't in Sinhalese, a reflection of the weakness and fatigue it causes. The problem? Most people over 60 are unknowingly deficient in B1 for a few key reasons. 1. Poor absorption. As we age, our stomach acid levels decrease, and this makes it harder for the body to absorb thiamine from food. 2. High-carb diets. Diets rich in refined carbs deplete B1 stores quickly, because thiamine is used to process sugars. 3. Diuretics and medications. Many seniors take medications that flush out B vitamins, especially if they're on water pills for blood pressure or heart disease. 4. Tea and coffee. Even decaf coffee and some herbal teas contain compounds that reduce B1 absorption. So how do you know if you're low? Here are some early signs of thiamine deficiency. Swelling in feet and ankles. Numbness or tingling in the lower legs. Fatigue, especially after meals. Brain fog or memory issues. Poor coordination or frequent stumbles. A heaviness in the legs that improves slightly when elevated. Clara, who we talked about earlier, showed many of these signs. She thought they were just aging problems. But once we introduced a few foods rich in B1 into her daily meals, she started to notice her symptoms easing within just 1 week. You might be wondering, what are those foods? In the next section, we'll dive into exactly which foods are rich in vitamin B1, plus the 2 other minerals, potassium and magnesium, that work alongside B1 to reduce swelling, support your nerves, and improve blood sugar control naturally. But before we move on, I want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced tingling or heaviness in your legs, especially after eating or sitting too long? If so, type the number 2 in the comments. You're not alone, and your story might help someone else find answers too. Now that we understand how blood sugar, glycation, and nutrient imbalances can contribute to swelling, let's dive into the 3 key nutrients that help reverse this process, starting with vitamin B1. If there's one vitamin that could be called the missing piece for leg and foot swelling in older adults, it's this one. Vitamin B1 thiamine, your body's spark plug. Think of vitamin B1 like the spark plug in your car. Without it, the fuel glucose can't be converted into motion energy. And when that system fails, your engine doesn't just stall. It starts to break down from the inside out. When B1 is present in sufficient amounts, your cells can efficiently convert sugar into usable energy, protect nerves and blood vessels from damage, prevent the fluid buildup that causes puffiness and swelling, improve muscle and nerve signaling, especially in the lower legs. What's amazing is that restoring B1 doesn't take months. It can start working within days, especially if your body has been running low for a while. Take Clara again, for example. She began by adding just 2 B1-rich foods into her breakfast routine: oatmeal topped with sunflower seeds and a small side of steamed green peas. That's it. Within 5 days, she noticed her sandals were easier to slip on after lunch. By the end of the 2nd week, she told me she could walk around the garden again in the evening without that cement leg feeling. Best food sources of vitamin B1. So what should you eat? Here are some of the best natural, whole food sources of vitamin B1. Sunflower seeds. Just a small handful adds a big dose. Flax seeds and chia seeds. Green peas. Black beans and lentils. Oats, steel cut or rolled are best. Brown rice. Spinach and asparagus. Pork, especially lean cuts, if you eat meat. Try combining 2 to 3 of these into your meals each day. Even something as simple as adding sunflower seeds to your oatmeal or salad can make a difference. What about supplements? They can help, especially if your diet is limited, but food is the best first step. Plus, your body often absorbs nutrients more effectively from food sources. Quick tip: if you drink tea or coffee regularly, try to consume your B1-rich meals or supplements a few hours apart. Certain compounds in these beverages can block B1 absorption. And remember, B1 works even better when paired with 2 important minerals that we'll cover next: potassium and magnesium. These 2 help regulate fluid levels, reduce inflammation, and support nerve function. In the next section, we'll explore exactly how potassium helps balance sodium, how magnesium calms your nervous system, and how to get them from easy, everyday foods. But before we move on, I'd love to hear from you. Which of the B1 rich foods mentioned today do you already eat? Drop your favorite in the comments. Or type the number 3 if you're going to try one this week. Let's inspire each other to make small, powerful changes. Let's now move on to 2 other essential minerals that work hand in hand with vitamin B1, potassium and magnesium. Potassium, nature's sodium balancer. Potassium is often overlooked, but it plays a vital role in regulating fluid balance in your body. It works by counteracting the effects of sodium, helping your kidneys flush out excess water and reduce swelling in the tissues. If you're eating too much sodium, even hidden in processed or low-fat foods, and not enough potassium, your body tends to hold on to water, especially in your feet and ankles. This is one reason swelling tends to worsen after eating salty soups, frozen dinners, or deli meats. So what can you do? Instead of simply cutting out sodium, try increasing your potassium intake through food. The recommended amount for adults is about 4,700 milligrams per day, and sadly, most people only get about half of that. Here are some excellent potassium-rich foods: cooked spinach, sweet potatoes, avocados, bananas, white beans, beets, coconut water unsweetened, plain Greek yogurt. You don't need to eat 15 bananas a day. Just combining 2 to 3 of these foods across your meals can make a big difference. For example, a lunch of baked sweet potato and sautéed spinach, followed by a light yogurt snack, gives your legs exactly what they need to release extra fluid. This was the approach Howard took. Instead of grabbing crackers or toast, he started including a small serving of cooked greens or beans with lunch and dinner. It wasn't dramatic at first, he told me, but after a week, I noticed my socks weren't cutting into my ankles anymore. Magnesium, the nerve and muscle helper. Lastly, we come to magnesium, a mineral that's involved in over 300 biochemical processes in the body. When it comes to leg swelling and nerve discomfort, magnesium helps in several ways. It relaxes blood vessels and improves circulation, supports nerve signal transmission, helps regulate blood sugar levels, reduces muscle cramping and spasms. Many older adults are deficient in magnesium, especially if they've taken antacids, diuretics, or have digestive issues. Low magnesium can make your legs feel restless, twitchy, or even numb, especially at night. The good news? It's easy to add more to your meals. Try these foods: pumpkin seeds, almonds and cashews, dark chocolate, 85% or higher, black beans, Swiss chard and kale, turkey, dark meat, Brazil nuts. Just 1 to 2 per day is plenty. And here's something you may not know. Magnesium helps your body absorb vitamin B1 better. So when you combine these nutrients in a balanced meal, they don't just help with swelling, they support better energy, nerve health, and sleep. Janice, a sweet woman I met in Ohio, began eating steel-cut oats with pumpkin seeds and a side of sautéed kale 3 times a week. She told me, "My legs don't feel heavy anymore, and I'm sleeping through the night without cramping." Sometimes, the answers really are that simple. In the final section, we'll talk about how to put this all together in a daily routine, with meal ideas, simple reminders, and the mindset shift that makes all the difference. You'll see how just a few consistent choices can help your legs feel lighter, stronger, and more supported, starting this week. And before we move on, if you've tried any of these potassium or magnesium-rich foods and noticed a difference, let us know in the comments. Your story might encourage someone else to give it a try too. By now, you understand why swollen legs and feet aren't always about age or salt, but can be deeply connected to your vitamin and mineral intake, your blood sugar, and even how your body uses energy. The good news? You don't need a complicated plan or expensive supplements. All you need is a few small adjustments to your daily routine, built around the 3 key nutrients we just discussed: vitamin B1, potassium, and magnesium. Let's look at a simple way to apply this knowledge right now. Starting with your meals. Morning routine. Start with B1 and magnesium. Your body is most insulin sensitive in the morning, which means it's the best time to stabilize blood sugar and fuel your nervous system. Try a breakfast like this: a small bowl of steel-cut oats, topped with sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, and a sprinkle of cinnamon, a side of steamed spinach or a soft-boiled egg for protein. herbal tea or warm lemon water instead of coffee, or wait to have coffee a few hours later. If you're short on time, a smoothie can work too. Unsweetened almond milk, a handful of spinach, half a banana, 1 tablespoon of ground flax or chia seeds, a scoop of plain Greek yogurt. This combination gives you vitamin B1 from seeds and oats, magnesium from pumpkin and flax, potassium from banana and greens, fiber and protein to balance blood sugar. More importantly, it helps reduce the morning stiffness and heavy legs that so many older adults feel when they get out of bed. One woman in our community, Helen, told me she used to wake up with ankles so tight she could barely put her slippers on. After adding pumpkin seeds and greens to her breakfast, she said, "I feel lighter before lunch, and my rings fit again too." Midday movement, keep fluids flowing. Between meals, it's just as important to keep circulation moving, especially if you sit for long periods. Here's a simple practice. Every hour, stand up and stretch your calves. Roll your ankles clockwise and counterclockwise. Do 10 heel lifts while holding onto a chair. If you're seated, do seated foot pumps, alternating between toes up and heels up. This keeps blood and lymph moving and encourages fluid to drain from your lower legs. Try it now while you're watching. Your legs will thank you. And while we're here, if you're ready to try adding one of these breakfast ideas this week, type the number 4 in the comments. Let's support each other with ideas and motivation. In the next part, we'll go over an afternoon and evening plan, plus lifestyle tips like leg elevation, hydration, and the best time to eat magnesium-rich foods to sleep better and wake up with less swelling. Now let's talk about what to do in the afternoon and evening, when swelling tends to worsen for most people, especially if you've been sitting or standing for hours. Afternoon, keep meals light, potassium-rich. This is the perfect time to add foods that help your body release excess fluid. Try a baked sweet potato or steamed beets, a green salad with avocado and white beans, a side of Greek yogurt or a few Brazil nuts. These foods give your body potassium, magnesium, and healthy fats without spiking your blood sugar. You'll feel more energized and less puffy, even as the day winds down. Howard, who we spoke about earlier, used to eat crackers and soup in the afternoon, 2 high-sodium culprits. Once he switched to avocado on whole grain toast and a side of steamed greens, he noticed the difference by dinner. "No more ring marks around my ankles," he said. Evening, restore and relax. Evenings are about unwinding and recovery. This is when you help your legs release the fluid they've been holding onto all day. Start with this simple habit. Elevate your legs for 15 to 20 minutes, ideally above heart level. Prop them up on a few pillows while watching TV or reading. Gently massage your feet and ankles with a warm cloth or lotion. Sip warm water or a magnesium-rich bedtime tea like chamomile or lemon balm. And for dinner, keep it simple. Grilled or baked protein, like turkey or salmon. Steamed or sautéed greens, Swiss chard, kale, or broccoli. A lentils or quinoa for magnesium and fiber. This combination supports your nervous system, relaxes muscles, and gives your body what it needs to repair overnight. Janice, who used to get leg cramps at 2 a.m., told me that adding dark leafy greens and a few pumpkin seeds at dinner helped her sleep through the night, something she hadn't done in months. The mindset shift, consistency beats perfection. You don't need to overhaul your entire life. Just pick 1 or 2 things to start. Add sunflower seeds to your oats. Swap white rice for lentils. Elevate your legs for 15 minutes before bed. These aren't diets. They're acts of daily care for your body, especially for the legs that have carried you through life. And remember this, if your body is swelling, it's not failing you. It's talking to you. These small changes are how you start listening. So let me ask you, which part of today's video are you going to try first? Type 1 if you'll start with breakfast. Type 2 if you'll focus on afternoon foods. Type 3 if your goal is a calming, healing evening routine. And if you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. The more you interact, the more people this video reaches. And it just might help someone else stand and walk more comfortably this week. At VitaGoHealth, we believe aging should be empowering, not limiting. Let's keep learning, moving, and nourishing ourselves with care. Your legs deserve it. You deserve it.